A good night, another one for Arsenal. 3-0 winners over Bodo Glimt. We'll have a look at the group in a moment, but it's pretty much all good news. Home wins in the later Europa League games for Fenerbahce and for Rennes, but you can see slip-ups for some of the more fancy teams at home. Certainly Jose Mourinho's Roma, who went down to 10 men and have lost to Real Betis. Same scoreline for Union Saint-Gilloise, who've beaten Braga in Portugal. 2 each, Midtjylland and Feyenoord. Freiburg have beaten Nantes and Karabakh. 3-0 winners in Paris against Olympiacos. And I mentioned Arsenal's group. As you can see, they are in control for what it's worth, although PSV and Arsenal obviously have only played the 2 games thus far, and they will meet eventually. They haven't yet met, with obviously the postponed game, but it's Bodo Glimt away in a week's time for Arsenal in the early kick-off in the Arctic Circle, and then 2 games against PSV, first one at home, and then eventually to Eindhoven before Zurich caps it off. But Joe and Martin, get your thoughts in a moment. I think we're going to hear first, are we not, from Eddie Nketiah, the scorer of Arsenal's first goal tonight. He's with Jeff Brazier.
Eddie, 3-0 win. What did you make of the performance that puts you to the top of Group A?
Yeah, I think good win. Nice to have a European night in front of our fans. I think the atmosphere was electric, great today, and yeah, it's nice to obviously get the win and get the 3 points and go top.
What about opening the scoring as well? Right place, right time for you?
Yeah, it was nice. Obviously, KT, good shot from KT, and I was just alert, it fell for me, and obviously I took the chance.
So, I mean, you seem to control the first half, but then start the second half. Would you say that it's fair to say the energy dropped somewhat, and then the substitutes were made for that reason?
Yeah, I think obviously they started well second half. I think, like you said, we dominated the first half, dropped it a little bit in the second half, and then obviously picked up towards the middle end.
2 goals in 2 starts for you. Are you happy with how much you're contributing and hoping that it gets you a start in the Premier League at some point soon?
Yeah, it's a good start. I think obviously it's nice to obviously get 2 wins, 2 goals as well. And yeah, I'm just going to try to keep doing what I can, keep pushing, and hopefully keep scoring and helping the team.
And what did you learn about the opponents tonight? They were very positive, they were very front-footed. And what do you think the reverse fixture is going to be like?
Yeah, it's going to be a tough game. I think you can see the way they want to play. They always want to play out from the back. They've got good players on the ball, and they made it difficult for us at times. So yeah, we've got obviously the Premier League to focus first, but then be ready for a tough game to come back.
And talking about the Premier League, what did we learn about squad depth tonight? It's going to be incredibly important this year. So lots of rotation.
Yeah, like you said, obviously it's important. Everyone's going to play their role, so we've all got to keep fighting, keep pushing each other, and be ready, so we can keep winning.
All right, well done tonight.
Thank you.
Eddie Nketiah with Jeff. Like him, Martin? Like where he's going, where he's finding that bit of maturity and composure now?
Definitely. I think he said it there, didn't he? Got to work harder, got to continue. I think probably thinking he maybe wanted to do more. Would have liked to have got a hat-trick. He knows he needs to do something big. Jesus is in really good form. You saw that when he came on. He's the benchmark, isn't he? But nonetheless, Nketiah is improving all the time. Be happy with his goal. Could have maybe had another one. Yeah. There's one that he skies when he goes through, but he is now someone to turn to that you expect a performance from now. So I feel he's gone to the next level, but he's not number 1 yet. So there's some way to go to get into the team.
I loved it. He's the instinctive. He's one of them strikers where he's probably scored goals since the under-6s. He knows what a goal is. And what I absolutely loved about him tonight was more than all of the attributes he's got was when he come off the pitch, he looked disappointed. Yeah. He's a young lad who's come through the academy, scoring for Arsenal on a Thursday night. He's probably got all his family there. He could have been well happy with himself, clapping the crowds off. He was unhappy. He only scored 1. It's a lovely finish.
He wants more.
He wants more.
Yeah.
And that's what you want. And he expects more. And he's vocal. You hear him saying he wants to play more minutes. And he's one of them. He's forced his way into the manager's reckoning.
Yeah. He's got playing is the oxygen, isn't it, for the players? And he knows now he's not going to play again at the weekend. He'll get minutes, though. But it's like he needs to just do a little bit more. But I can see this player really improving all the time. Look, good imagination there. He's definitely got the confidence, the mentality, little ball round the corner. His strength now, he seems like he's put on a bit of muscle. He's turning into a man now in terms of his development. He just needs those opportunities. Something big's going to happen. Look at this movement again, Joe, running down the sides. He's testing defenders.
Yeah, that was perfect movement. He timed it so well. He opened his body up. You get so many busy strikers. This is the one where he would have been very disappointed with there. He just needs to take a little bit of time, wait for the goalie to go down and lift it, which I'm sure he would do next. And I think that was the chance that was on his mind when he come off the pitch. And I absolutely love that from the young lad, his attitude.
Yeah, his quality finish there. That's feather that in. As you said, velvet finish. Lovely.
Martin nailed it. Ian Wright.
in terms of that composure, that calmness.
Yeah.
Just soft foot and
Probably not as loud as Wright.
Well, let's hope not. For everybody else at the club, I think we could all say testament to that. But he obviously made a decision because there was, I think, opportunities elsewhere. He had to decide eventually to sign a new contract and stay at Arsenal, and they must have convinced him, and he must believe that there is a pathway for him there because he wasn't short of suitors.
No, there's 100%, you know, but it's still a big thing for him to be the number 2 striker, isn't it, at Arsenal? It's what you do when you come on, and every time he comes on, he's becoming a bit of a fan's favourite. There's no doubt about that, whether it's like wasting time in the corner flags, creating opportunities and taking Arsenal to the next level, because Jesus at times, I mean, he puts a wonderful performance in, but he's come on and then given Arsenal that extra bit, and he's just got to focus on that, not be disappointed, and get that support from the manager, which I think is key in all of this. This manager keeps spinning these plates, isn't he? Each player coming in, Vieira as well tonight, came in, did well. How much do you say to each player to get the best from him? Some will be a little bit down because they wanted more from themselves, but that's a really good environment for these players.
You could have a similar conversation, couldn't you, around Fabio Vieira and Martin Odegaard being kind of slightly in his way, but that's part and parcel of the big club.
Listen, you don't come to a big club. These kind of clubs like Arsenal, Manchester United, Chelsea, Man City, whoever you want to look, there's always going to be players' competition. Gabriel Jesus here, that's exceptional. You know, that feat, and then to pick it up. What I love about Vieira there is that is absolute brimming with confidence. He could have quite easily gone, right, let's make sure and get this low, but he's gone, right, I'm going to put it in the roof. Absolute, beautiful, left foot, open his body, lovely.
But, you know, Jesus come off the bench and everyone's looking, you know, what's the performance going to be? He just can't stop playing well, Jesus. He's gone, get off, you know, left foot, right foot, dance through the defence. But Vieira, I mean, I thought tonight he's starting to show really nice touches. Look at it's the bar there. Maybe thought he could have got over that. And I think it's going to be quite. I mean, Odegaard's the club captain now. He's left them on the pitch together. So there's quite a battle there to see which one is going to come through. They spent good money on him. And he's definitely got a great left foot. Perhaps should have put that one away.
That touchdown mark with the outside of his boots. So everything he does, he's one of them technicians where everything's with purpose. This is the assist. Look, left, just moved him. Feed it into an area. He's one of the absolute velvet left foot. This kid could do anything, and like Martin said, he's got the competition. Martin Odegaard, one of the club captains, leader of the leadership group that Mikel Arteta talks about. But this guy's a fantastic player.
This is where the Europa League is absolutely perfect, isn't it? For the next player, the next level that's going to nurture and bring through. If we were talking about Champions League now, these guys wouldn't quite be getting this opportunity. So this has been kind to Arsenal in the past with the Sakas and Smith-Rowes, and it's continuing to be so.
So, from a manager's point of view, I would think that Arteta's loving this. This is exactly what you would want. He's got just enough competition. There is seniority. But those that need to knock on the door are knocking.
Oh, yeah. That's what you want. In a perfect world, you want that intensity in the group to almost manage itself. That on the training pitch, you know, and you keep on pushing and keep on developing. And that's what we're seeing right now. So this competition is like, you know, there's 8 changes tonight. They're going to play in the next game. They know they can now. It's just they can look forward. Marquinhos was pretty well below. I mean, it's been 1 month, by the way, since he last played. Let's be fair to him. And he's looked at that performance, and tonight it's fallen away a little bit. So let's look forward now to next week to see if he can improve upon that.
Mikel, what are your thoughts on a 3-0 win and the performance that went with it?
Really happy, obviously, with the win. 6 points now with a clean sheet. And the way we attacked the box when we got there. But in general as well, I think we lacked a little bit of connection today between the players. Too many simple things, too many giveaways. And we weren't that consistent and that dominant throughout the game.
But that connection, does that come with this group of players that were on the pitch today playing with each other more? I know they train with each other.
Of course, there's a changes there, and there are a lot of players that haven't played a lot of minutes, and you can feel that in their coaching and understanding what to do, when to do it, and that timing sometimes is missing, and you can notice that. But attitude-wise and everything, no issues.
Well, I guess you've got another game in Norway next week to work on that. What did you learn about your opponents tonight?
Not much, because I saw 4 games of them, and I said in the press conference that I was very impressed the way they play. I told the players that you don't do it right, you're going to have to run a lot after the ball, because a team that they have the tools, the understanding and the quality to do it, and at times today they shown that.
What was special about the goals today was the assists, 3 sublime assists to create these goals, so much creativity in your team.
Yeah, I said that in the final third, I think we looked really dangerous every time we got into these positions. I think we were a threat. and the goals we scored, they were good goals.
They started the second half well, Bodo, didn't they? Did you notice that there was a slight drop in energy, and is that why the subs were made quite so early?
Yeah, a few players you could notice that when the game takes a different intensity, they were suffering a little bit, and it's normal. They haven't had enough exposure, enough minutes, and that's what we had to plan to make the right subs at the right time.
Mikel, thank you.
Thank you.
Pretty happy, Bonnie. I think that's fair. Although, a bit like his mentor, if that's fair, at Manchester City, the guy I'm sure he learned plenty from in Pep Guardiola, he's always looking for more. He's a perfectionist, isn't he? And he's fretting there about sometimes they gave it away a bit cheaply.
And I think he's right, Mikel Arteta. You know, you've got to set the bar really high, haven't you? You know, at the moment, they're in a situation, they're top of the league. You know, you've got to have one eye on what might happen. Tough game coming up against Liverpool. So he doesn't want any complacency. He wants the next lot to prove that they should be in the team. So that's him about nurturing. And if they see him being complacent, then the players, maybe it creeps into them. So he wants more. He wants perfection. And I think he's right. 8 changes. He talked about difficulty with some of the connections. It worked at Zurich, pretty well the same team. But I felt one or two were suffering, maybe living off that performance a little bit in the early stages. But in the end, it came together really well. Jesus coming off the bench, I think, that demonstrates to the group, doesn't it? That look at the quality. I'm the top man. You know, and I'm going to show everybody else how we behave. And that really helps to police it for the manager. Because he's the player that they point to. He's the role model within the group.
So it's not so much that the ones that perhaps started tonight are threatening in the short term to take the starting places, it's that they are creating the competition for which those first teamers then have to keep performing.
It's creating a culture, isn't
Yeah.
it? He's right to demand excellence because Arsenal and this season are trying to do something extraordinary. They're trying to go up against Man City. They're trying to win the Europa League. The bar's been set very high. You know, like you said, you've got Gabriel Jesus playing to the top of his game, you know, coming off the bench, showing the demands, you know, chasing everything down. The manager, you know, he's right to not be delighted with it. You know, to let the lads know that this is Arsenal Football Club and we want to be back at the top table. No, we don't want to be playing in...
Opponent,
Yeah.
you know, take nothing away from them.
Yeah.
And the opponent that's coming up in the distance. Because Liverpool are sitting there, Klopp's watching, and he's got a plan. And he's going to come after Arsenal at the weekend, and they're going to have to stand up to that and be up for that challenge. But it'll be a very different Emirates that Liverpool experienced this time round to last time, because we talk about the Anfield experience and how much that helps them, but that's returning now to Arsenal. It's getting a special day now every time you turn up to play a game there.
Do any of tonight's, if you want to call them B team, is probably a bit harsh, do they threaten a starting place? I'm thinking maybe of Tierney for Sunday, if Zinchenko's not fully fit, wasn't involved tonight.
I feel sorry for Tierney. That could have hit the back of the net easily, that long-range shot. He's a high caliber player. He comes on in every game. But obviously you're not completely meeting his needs. But then again, it shows you the quality and the strength of the squad when he's not starting. Look what he does when he comes on. So that's what it's about, moving in that direction. You want to be able to have that competition, and the level gets higher. Whether or not these players accept that going forward, as long as they play like that when they come in, I think there's still a future for them.